Hi all. So it's just me today. I actually had a podcast recording in the diary for today, but due to some unforeseen circumstances, that just hasn't happened. And I thought, well, I've not been on and spoken to anyone for a while, so I'm just going to come on and riff on my own, which is a first for me. So I've got a few notes here. It's not scripted, but I do have a few notes. And apologies for being sort of missing in action for a bit. I was quite ill at the beginning of the year, but now back in the saddle. And one of the things I've been thinking about recently is over the number of podcasts I've done to date, and I appreciate this podcast channel is still growing. What's come to mind with that is the mind body. I'm going to say mind body soul, but primarily mind body connection, and that's something I really want to kind of delve into with some of my guests in future. And I've been doing a coaching and trauma course over the last um, less than a year, but say from last year into this year. I think we've got the last session this week, which has been very, very interesting. And that's brought into my awareness a couple of books. One of the most profound of which being The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk. I hope I've said that right and not messed that poor person's name up. I've been listening to it on Audible. Um, I actually do love paper books and I love leafing through books, but what I've found is that with a very busy life, I just don't get to read um, as much as I would like to. And so Audible gives me a chance to listen in the car on my commute and all of that kind of stuff. So I recommend that. But I also really recommend this book. So um, I'd always known that there's a mind body soul connection, but particularly that book, The Body Keeps the Score, brings it to life in such a profound way. It is a deep read. It does have some um, examples in there that are, mm, I'm going to say quite triggering. I can't think of another word, but yeah, they're very hard hitting examples of trauma, at the extreme ends. But I think by talking about some of those, it is then able to give such a clear um, example of the connection with the body and how that affects the body over time, particularly childhood trauma and how that changes the body's physiology. Um, that I found absolutely fascinating. Um, so, as I say, it's an area I'd love to delve into, and I will be seeking out some guests to be able to do that. Um, but also because I think we often only focus on the body when it's not doing what we or behaving in the way that we want it to behave, not being able to do that extra rep or that extra set, whatever it is, at the gym, or not being able to get past this fatigue, whatever it might be, not realizing that there could be a mental or mind reason for that, but we're ignoring that connection. And maybe if we dealt with the mind side, the body could start to calm itself down and be able to do more of the thing, be more energized, do more of the things that we want it to do, be more healthy. Um, and it's a bit of a chicken and egg thing, I think, as in terms of where does it start? Does it start in the body or does it start in the mind? Um, by reading The Body Keeps the Score, to me, it seems like, generally speaking, it starts in the mind. And over many, many years of nervous system dysregulation, which keeps us in a hypervigilant kind of state, or um, on the border of anger, being easily triggered into a fit of anger, not sleeping well. It wears the body down over time. So I think it's good to therefore delve into how does the mind impact or influence the body? So give me a moment there. Let me just go back to my notes. So yes, we're generally looking for ways to improve the body and make it do what we want it to do, and berating it for not behaving and all of that kind of stuff. Um, but what if we started to focus on things that just seem, let's say, fairly innocuous? So there's so much talk out there about mindfulness, about getting out in nature for walks, about meditation, about yoga, talk therapy, journaling, automatic or free writing. All of these things, and there's many more examples, but all of these things are really helpful in bringing to our awareness some of the things that might be going on from a mind perspective. So for instance, the walk may calm the body down to enough of an extent that thoughts come in about things and they seem like they just randomly pop in, but they've probably been waiting there to have their opportunity to make themselves known, or to bring that awareness to you. But in the busyness of life and the ignoring of um, ourselves in favor of looking out there and everything that's going on out there, those parts of us don't have the opportunity to come through. But when you're in a relaxed state and you're just out meandering in nature, it gives them an opportunity to pop in. So that's one of them. And then the automatic or free writing or journaling. With the automatic writing, you can possibly use a prompt and just write, not censoring it, not trying to get to any solutions, not questioning why did I write that, just flowing, just writing whatever comes through, and you keep going and you keep going and you keep going until there's nothing more. And it might take a bit to get started because the conscious mind is in the way. But once you've finished, you may then start to see things that are in the subconscious just come out on the page, and it's bringing awareness to those things. So they may seem like journaling, meditation. Relaxation can't do that. Even massage therapy. People have been known to cry, um, break out in tears when they're just having a massage, or somatic therapy, which gets the body moving and moves energy around. So many different things. And so these aren't just things to do because they're fun or they're a form of exercise. I'm actually beginning to see these things as essential for our health and well-being. Some form of mindfulness, awareness, embodiment, kind of exercise, all of those things, I'm actually now beginning to see the importance of them and how essential they are for nervous system regulation. especially if you have a history of any kind of trauma. And I could be speaking out of turn here. I don't know, but to my mind, part of life is having some real deep challenges for some of us. And I think there's a continuum, that it's on a continuum. We've all got trauma to a greater or lesser degree. Um, and what was interesting from the book was that the capacity for the mind to understand what has happened and make peace with it, but the body to still be in that place where it's in fight or flight, or trying to in survival mode. And you can't think when you're in survival mode, but it becomes so much part of just who we are and how we're going through life that we don't even realize that we're in a fight or flight state or a hypervigilant state until it starts perhaps to cause problems in the body. Um, so we don't know that unless from a conscious perspective, unless we do something to bring awareness to it, which is what a lot of these practices do. For instance, in the book, it talked about childhood trauma and how we're very good at parking things and putting them to the back and forgetting about traumas, um, so that we can basically just function and get on with our lives. But actually, fragments of things come back, flashbacks maybe come back. We don't understand why we clam up in certain situations, or um, go from naught to 100 in terms of anger so quickly. So all these things can bring awareness to who we are and help us to not just heal the mind and understand what's happened from a logical perspective, but to integrate that trauma into the body so that it doesn't go on to cause such havoc with us. Let me just refer to my notes again. So yes, I was saying, especially if you've had childhood trauma, but really any kind of trauma. Um, so as I say, um, I plan to delve into this more over the coming episodes, finding people that I can talk to about embodiment, that I can talk to about trauma, um, and some of these are likely to be quite deep conversations, possibly quite triggering conversations, but I think they are important conversations to have. So I thought I'd just jump on and say that. Stay tuned, and I will get back to you as soon as possible with the next episode of Questions on My Mind. And I hope this check-in um, has shown you that I'm still here, still got lots to bring to you, and so you can therefore look forward to what I'm going to bring. Hope you're all well and take care, and I will see you soon.